The Transfiguration of Christ shows us the truth about Moses, Elijah, and John the Baptist. Part 15.
It says in 1 Kings 17, verses 1 through 9, that when Elijah announced the drought, it was a time of great famine, crisis, and judgment in Israel, which is a figure of everything that is caused by the preaching of the Antichrist, since he was not the bread that descended from heaven that gives life, but rather brought destruction and death. God the Father, Melchizedek, is the one who comes out to meet man, and it is because he first comes out to meet his Christ, his wife. This is the only way in which God gives his bread from heaven to man. That is why Elijah had to go to the woman to eat her food, but out of jealousy, he ended up bringing drought and famine to her with the purpose of killing her son, the fruit of her spiritual womb. It also says that the Lord said to Elijah, "Go to Zarephath in Sidon and dwell there. In that place lives a widow whom I have commanded to give you food. Look, I will surely command a woman, a widow, there to provide you food." The food that God gives to eat is not physical, just as the manna that descended from heaven when the people of Israel were hungry was not physical food, but the word that God spoke through his Christ, being present among men, and who manifests to save us from the man of sin. All of this with Elijah took place during a drought and on Mount Carmel, a privileged place for the encounter with God, Melchizedek Christ Lisbet. This means that it was not Elijah who came to sustain the woman, but God the Father, who always sustains his Christ, and it is she who gives sustenance to that man of sin until nothing more could be done for him, because even though it was he who caused that drought and great famine against the people, Christ sustained him. She sustained him with her loyalty to him, and with her values and respect for the family, she changed his life for the better, and we were all witnesses to that achievement. But he didn't have any good thoughts towards Christ, for he did not think of her with prudence, as did Abraham when Sodom and Gomorrah. They say that the identity of that widow is unknown, and they call her the anonymous widow, and it is because no one knows that she is a figure of Elisha and also of Naaman, the Syrian who was the only one cleansed during the times of Elisha, who burned his plows, sacrificed his oxen, and left behind his family inheritance to follow Elijah. Elisha is that widow, poor in spirit, who welcomed Elijah, and whose flour and oil miraculously never ran out during the time of great famine. And it is because God the Father, Melchizedek, is the one who sustained the woman so that she would not die, not leaving her soul in Sheol, nor allowing her to see corruption, and that is why her child was saved when she gave her first good spiritual fruit. Amen. To be continued.